Set up your team is split into two parts. It is first set up the user and then set up the department. So profiles, that's always a difficult one to understand for certain people. And I always try to be to explain it as simple as possible. Can I actually? Just bear with me for a second. I'm back in a second. I quickly grab my painting tablet. Bear with me for a second. So I hope that is going to work. I hope it also will not literally paint over the whole screen. Let me see if I get something. Not, bear with me. Okay. Does it? I don't want to use the whiteboard, to be honest. Not really. It should actually take it automatically. Okay, I have to set that up again. It's unfortunate. I have not had time to set that all up fully, fortunately. So I have to use my mouse then to actually do any kind of painting over it, or it is actually not even working with the PDF, which would be a little bit sad. Okay, anyway, I try as good as possible without the paint. So profiles, auto switching. Auto switching are these statuses that we have on the extensions that follow the office hours. And I have to have on the extension auto switching based on time of day enabled to follow these rules. Available is usually in office hours. So this means when the office is occupied and people are working, and when we are meant to be on our phone or available to take calls. Away is break hours. Away status comes, for example, if the office hours on the system are set to break. And do not disturb is when it's out of office hours. That is auto switching. And of course, we can have all different office hours as well. As you know, when you were working with 3CX before, you can set for each extension dedicated office hours. You can set for each department dedicated office hours. You can set for each trunk dedicated office hours. However, trunks, they don't know break times. Yeah? So that is auto switching. If I put myself to available, let me quickly bring that one up here. If I put myself to, I'm on do not disturb now. If I go available, I follow the global office hours or my dedicated ones if I have set up dedicated ones. If I go on away, I follow the global office hours, which means when break time is over, so I'm on a way more or less until break time is over. So for example, if I set myself, break time is between 12 and 1 o'clock, for example. And if I set myself to away at 5 to 12, away automatically turns into available at 1 o'clock. The same goes with do not disturb. If I go to do not disturb at, let's say we clock off here, for example, by 5:30. And if I go to do not disturb at 5:20 because I have to leave earlier to go somewhere, the next morning I will be automatically back on available at 9 o'clock when I start working. Yeah. I have not really used the do not disturb and all that stuff so far here yet, so I do not even know if there is office hours auto-based switching set on the system or not. Persistent. Persistent means when I set it on custom 1, as you can see it's green, I am available. I'm available until I go back to another status. If we, and that of course comes down to if there are office hours in use on the system. If I am on custom 1 and we have office hours in place and I set myself, for example, on a Thursday morning, 10 a.m. to custom 1, then my phone will be available for the next 20 weeks, as long until I literally go back to the regular available or the regular away or the do not disturb, something that follows the in and out of office rules of the phone system. That then triggers again to follow the auto switch. If I put myself onto custom 2, for example, when I go on holiday or on a business trip or whatever, and I put myself on custom 2, I will be on do not disturb until someone tells me to take that custom 2 out. Yeah, it's just the custom 1 and the custom 2, they are persistent. They do not follow any switching of the office hours, so in and out of office hours. Once they are set indefinite until you choose again either available, away, or do not disturb. So one of these 3 that follows the auto switching of the office hours, and by that then literally takes you back into that daily routine. Yeah. So that is something that literally has to be understood. This I know it's a little bit difficult. Some people have quite some issues with understanding that kind of idea. But generally, the persistent ones, you place them once and they stay there. They will not switch between available, away, do not disturb, and available, away, and all that. So they will not follow the daily routine until you break that circle with choosing available, away, or do not disturb. Yeah, it's just like that. Changing profiles, we can do that on the 3CX apps. We also have the ability to edit forwarding presets, 3CX web client, 3CX Windows soft phone, and the progressive web app. Users with department administrator role can change the status of other users. So for example, going back, when you put yourself into custom 1, or into custom 2. Custom 2 is probably even worse. And you forget that, someone with the department administrator role can simply switch you back into the daily rules. Yeah. Then when you use IP phones, you can change the profile status via a dial code. *30 is available, *31 is away, *32 is do not disturb. The IP phone's do not disturb button activates *32. You can do that via a BLF button that is pre-configured as a speed dial with *30, *31, and what else ever. Or you can also change the status from within the voicemail menu. However, on an IP phone, you can not see the status of another extension using BLF keys. BLF keys solely show you the call status of that extension. So if the extension is free, call setup, or in a call, but you cannot see via BLF key if the extension is available, on away, on do not disturb, on custom 1 and custom 2. You cannot see that. Why? Available, do not disturb, and away, custom 1 and custom 2. These settings are system settings, which can only be shown using system tools. IP phones use standard SIP settings, and the way how the phone system, the 3CX, communicates with the apps to display the status is not a standard SIP way of how to do it. It's actually something that is not a part of standard SIP to show the status. To activate a different status, that is a part of can be a part of standard SIP using dial codes, but it is not a standard SIP feature to actually display the way a phone system announces if someone is available or away. Yeah, because you have to see we have multiple different IP PBXs, and they all use different ways on how they show the statuses of their users. Yeah, it's just not a standard SIP feature because it's not internationally standardized. Every phone manufacturer or every PBX manufacturer, has a different way on how he shows the statuses. And therefore, on 3CX, you can only see the status on the 3CX apps. Changing profiles, automated integrations can be done via auto switch based on time or Microsoft 365. If there's Microsoft 365 integration, it should generally change you on to do not disturb if you have, for example, a Teams meeting. Then forwarding rule options, different for internal and external callers. We have forwarding option to voicemail, mobile number, any external number, other users, including system extensions, or the most user-friendly one is end the call. Yeah? And this can be different destination based on where the call comes from, either internal or external callers. We have the forwarding rule option to have the mobile phone rung simultaneously. Now, what does that mean? You know, we have a mobile app on 3CX, but we also have the opportunity to add the mobile number, so the user's mobile number on the extension level. Yeah, under the extension information, we can add the mobile number of the user. Now, there's often having a little bit of misunderstanding happening here. There are installers who install the mobile app on the mobile phone of the user, and then they say, okay, I want that in the same moment when the call comes in and rings on the either desk phone or it rings on the desktop app. Okay, I shouldn't say desktop app anymore because desktop app is not relevant anymore. So let's say in a web client or on the Windows soft client. I also want it to ring on the mobile app. Yeah. And then they tick there ring mobile simultaneously. And then their customer comes to them whenever they receive a call. Customer receives a call on his mobile phone via the mobile provider and the call on the mobile app. And a customer comes and says, "Why is my phone always ringing on the regular phone number when I receive a call on the app?" Yeah, solely because the installer ticked ring mobile simultaneously. Yeah. Ring mobile simultaneously has nothing to do with the mobile app. The mobile app rings automatically if we have push notifications enabled. It generally rings automatically when it's registered, but when we have push notifications enabled, it will be elevated from the hibernating mode. Yeah. But if we enable ring mobile simultaneously, it actually will ring the mobile number that is placed in the general tab of the user. Yeah. So if you do not want to have the mobile number rung at the same moment when the mobile app is ringing, then do not tick that box. Okay? Accept multiple calls. Accept multiple calls is also a feature. Some people want it, some people don't want it. That's literally a simple feature where you can have knock knock in the backend. So you are on a call on your desk phone, or you're on a call on your mobile or on your soft client, and then in the same moment another call comes in and you literally get notification that another call comes in there. I generally tend to dislike this feature because it's, from my perspective, just disturbing. If you're in a call, you're in a call. If you are occupied, you're occupied. The other person can call in, comes to the voicemail, and can leave either a message or can try to call you back or can send you an email or whatever. It's just, a little bit disturbing. Then we have the opportunity to automatically log out from queues. For example, when we go on Do Not Disturb, or when we go on our way, all that stuff. So that's then also something that comes down to auto based switching. Then we have also the opportunity that you can say accept calls from ring groups when you, for example, when someone calls you out of a ring group. So let's say uh, someone answers a call in a queue and then tries to forward the call to you, so that the call is literally ending up on your end. You can say, no, I don't want that. In that regard, then literally the call is not going to you. If you accept calls from ring groups, then the call can be someone answers the call, caller says, I would like to speak with that person or whatever, and then they can forward the call literally to you when accept calls from ring group is enabled. Accept push notifications, again, that's for the mobile client to have the mobile app elevated from hibernation when a call comes in. Then we have forwarding rules on available and custom one. After a certain amount of rings, the call can be forwarded to different destinations. Away, do not disturb, and custom two. These are generally the situations where you are not meant to be on your desk. They are instantly triggered because you are not on your desk. And then external callers. Call deflection is possible for mobile external numbers. What call deflection in that regard means is that the end user sees, so the destination where the call is forwarded to sees the original caller's number. Let's say caller with 0412345678 calls you. Your you are on do not disturb and have the call forwarded to your mobile number. Under normal circumstances, you would see your company phone number, that literally, uh, because the call goes out via the trunk in that regard, and then you see the company number that calls you and not the original caller ID from the person who actually calls. Call deflection means that literally the call forwarding is placed not on the 3CX, but on the um, next level up PBX, which would be the one from the VoIP provider. And there, the call forwarding is done on that level, and therefore you would see the original caller ID. However, this comes down to your VoIP provider. Yeah. The PBX 36 is capable of doing it, but your provider has to support that feature. Mark placed here just a caveat with the mobile app is that the registration is for 7 days only. If not opened or called, which will open the app on the mobile, then registration will drop and no further calls will come in until the app is reopened. I had another one the other day that my profile was already gone, or all of a sudden gone. Just gone. Yeah. So I had to literally dig out the provisioning email, the original one with the QR code, and I had to scan the QR code on it again. Look, it's possible that this is something that can be fixed in the future. I definitely might have a look at that if that is true. It's the first time actually I heard that. I haven't heard that before, but possible. Absolutely. I don't say that it's not possible. Definitely might make sense to look actually into that once. When forwarding rules don't apply, when a call comes from ring groups or queues, that's just solely because you don't want to forward a call from a ring group to someone's external number or what else. But that's just calls from ring groups or queues where literally people externally call in to reach the company. They are not going to a uh, uh, how can I say? They are not going to a forwarded destination from an extension. So when you say, for example, in a ring group or queue, if no answer after that set given time, forward calls or destination no answer is an extension, and that extension is literally forwarded to somewhere else because the extension is on do not disturb or is on away, the forwarding rules will be ignored. Yeah. In the available status and in the do not disturb, only forwarding to external number mobile is allowed. Rebound calls will not be forwarded. Yeah. Voicemail greeting, able to define a different greeting per profile. It overrides the default greeting only for the specific status. So you can have a different greeting for available, do not disturb, away, custom one, custom two. And then based on the status that you have, the greeting will be played. If you have for every status a dedicated greeting, then based on the status, you have 5 different greetings that will be played. The audio format is the famous Wave PCM 8 kHz 16-bit mono, and it can be uploaded via the web client, via the not sure if it goes via the progressive web app. Most likely it does. And I have also not checked yet if you can upload it via the soft client, the Windows soft client, but I'm pretty sure that you can do that there as well, or it will come at some point. Or you can also record it directly via an extension. So for example, you say, change my extent or upload a new profile, then you click on the phone button there on the right side, and you literally enter then the extension number which you want to be called on, and then you literally can record a prompt via your either handpiece of your desk phone or a headset connected to a desk phone or to your PC, or even via your mobile phone. We have exceptions that is still existing. We used to have that with version 15. We used to have that with version 16. And we used to have that with version 18 as well. Allows calls from certain caller IDs to be treated differently. You have a maximum of 15 exceptions per extension. You can use the star symbol as wildcard. So for example, you can create a star, so a 04 star, a 02 star, a 03 star, a 07 star. So literally everyone that calls in from a certain uh, 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 a range of numbers can be either dropped or what else ever, depending on what you actually want to do with it. Yeah. Darren asked, are you sure you can record greetings on a handset with version 20? Yes, I'm pretty sure you can. Now, the call flow is the incoming call comes to the user. It checks if there are any exceptions available. Then it checks the availability, so the status. If we are on automatic switching, if that is on, it checks if we are on available, away, or do not disturb. If automatic switching is off, it checks if we are custom 1 or custom 2. Then based on the status that we have, it checks the forwarding functions. What happens if there is no answer? what happens if we are busy, what happens if it is an internal or an external call, just following that structure. Okay, now, let's demo quickly. So we have literally here our extension 1000. We have the opportunity there, I pause that quickly, to go to change the available away and do not disturb. You see on the right side, you see there the pencil where you can actually change the status of these setups. We have the opportunity to change the status temporarily, change the status temporarily to away, do not disturb, lunch, or business trip. You can do that for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. That can go down to 1 week. And then you can set a custom status message so that people know what you're actually after. You can also say override office hours. You can, of course, do that only for departments if you have the right set. If you are a general user, you cannot set the office hours of a department or override them in that regard. Yeah. If you are a department administrator, then you most likely will be able to do so for your apartment. Again, we had I pre-created there already a tech department just to have something in there to show you the difference between what you can have, what you can set. I'm of course system owner on that system because therefore I can do literally everything on that end. So then I can say office is open, closed, on break, holiday, whatever for again up to a month. Yeah, so I can literally there say office is open for a month. So which means even if someone calls in the night, the office is still open. We can also do further settings in the call forwarding section on the extension. As you see there, we have the mobile number that we can enter. We can enable push notifications for that extension, and we can also choose the main department membership. We have it there at the moment by default. Just regarding default department, bear in mind that when you have every user dedicated or in dedicated departments, and you want to avoid that they are literally be seen or can communicate with different departments or what else ever, or you want to enable department-wise outbound rules. When you create an extension, it is always by default going into the default department. So you might have to take the users out of the default department when you don't want to have anyone in there, or you have a department where most of the users have to be inside, and you then probably just rename that department from default to something else. Then again here, we can set in the available status. We can set a custom status message, like I'm here or I'm ready or whatever. Then we have the no answer timeout. The lowest is 1 second. So literally call comes in, 1 sec rings for 1 second and then is going forward. We have the opportunity to define where external calls go to and where internal calls go to. We also can define where calls go to when I am busy or not registered. Further down, you see also ring my mobile, which is grayed out because I have not placed a mobile number under the general tab. You can also say there, accept multiple calls, and again, the accept push notifications, which is actually triggering the app to wake up when a call comes in. Same stuff we have then on, it's literally what I just said, just going there because that's pre-recorded. And I have not done, I usually do a voiceover, but I just simply did not have time to do that. Yeah, so we have the same stuff here then on do not disturb and on lunch, business trip, exceptions, and then we have the schedule there. So here you see this extension uses default office hours, or if the extension uses specific office hours, for example, like me, I work different office hours than, for example, um, the account managers or pre-support. From that perspective, I would use then this extension uses specific office hours. And if I would want to be logged in, logged out based on the office hours that are available, then I could automatically, it could choose automatically switch status to available during office hours. So then I would become green in the morning at 9 when I start, and I would go on do not disturb at 5:30 in the evening when I drop off. Additionally, we can also then say at the very bottom, disable outbound calls outside of office hours. This is not such a bad thing to have. For example, if you have cleaners that come into the building and clean the table or whatever, yeah, you never know what happens in these office buildings sometimes after you leave. Can also be that you have um, some strange co-workers who do not just follow the general netiquette or what else ever, and yeah, just call out on a different extension instead to literally not show that they actually called out to a number that they are not meant to call, or if they, for example, can't dial to certain numbers and you can, they would then literally use your phone to actually do um, uh, call out to those numbers which are restricted. Then we have also there the opportunity to set status um, based on your right set, what you have. For example, as group administrator, as system owner, you can change someone directly from the Teams board. So from the team board, you can change someone's status directly to available. For example, if you see that the person forgot to get back from lunch or what else ever, you can set that there straight away. You can also set reminders. Of course, you will have to have a digital receptionist set up, but you can set reminders then there, and literally someone gets reminded of even um, going back into the queue or what else ever. You know, if you have a worker who is not always thinking about everything or whatever. So that's also can be done. Also here in the user section, that's then more on the administrator level, where you can set those same settings again. You can set them definite there. Of course, it can be overridden again. But you see, you have multiple ways where you can literally say if an extension or what the behavior of an extension is when the extension is on whatever kind of setting. Then here, voicemail, as we heard before, you can also change the status in the voicemail menu. That's just you ring into the voicemail menu and then you literally follow the prompts there, and then you can literally change your status between available, sorry, available, away, do not disturb, custom 1, custom 2. You can do that as well there. That was it. Now let's see what there are questions. Users cannot, by default, cannot set the office override because users have no rights to do that. Then the calendar function to add public holidays, we see that then when we go to the departments, because a user generally has no office public holidays, or the users are usually part of of a um, a group. Of course, when we have a DIT, yes, you can do that. The public holiday is much better handled now than it was in version 18. However, it is not yet there where you could say, "Oh, yeah, we have a calendar and we it fully syncs, for example, with Outlook or what else ever." Um, I guess that is also a little bit um, too advanced, because based on what would the system know to which department you belong? Yeah, and it's coming down to the departments, because the departments can be built up by states, for example, and then the states have, again, if you think about Labor Day, we in Melbourne, we have Cup Day, we have Grand Final Day. Uh, yeah, so you generally set the the um, the holidays based on departments. Uh, and then you can set up the departments as states or whatever, and then you set the holidays inside there. But it's much easier now than it was with version 18. Version 18, it has been a little bit of a, and also prior, with versions before version 18, you were not even able to literally create really departments in a way like they have then been created. I think it was after version 18 update 6 when you really had the opportunity there in the um, web client. You will see that in a second. Question is, how do we set the custom holiday greeting recording for holidays in version 20? You will see that in a moment. Okay, here we look into the departments. Each department has its own settings. You can look at the departments as of tenants. Yeah. Um, uh, like for example, the 363 and 36 SMB is nothing else than a whole 3CX that has departments. And your customer that uses a 3CX3 is one department on that whole system. It's in the end nothing else. Yeah. Also, those titanium partners that are able to use the multi-tenant system, so the multi-tenant version of 3CX, that where they can create their or offer their own SMBs and free versions or what else ever, they are then offering to their customer departments. But these departments then there on that solution are separated from each other. Yeah. Good question. I haven't played that much around with that. Fred is asking, can departments be a member of another department? It's a good question. I honestly, I have not tested that. I have just been in that whole time when now 3.6 was version 20 was literally released. I went through a job change, and it left me a little bit on the back heel with doing playing around with 3CX and all that stuff. But I definitely will have a look on that, because I was actually asking myself exactly that question roughly a week ago. Yeah. Would be cool in a way, but then again, the question is if everyone sees what would be cool on that. Yeah, so we can add users to departments. Users can be part of multiple departments. It's possible for a user within their department to see other users and perform actions to other users. We have 7 available roles. We have the system owner, we have the system admin, we have the owner, the department admin, the manager, the receptionist, and the user. There is a guide on the 3CX website where you see lined out what they are all allowed to do. And the link to that site will be a part of the PDF with those 700,000 links that I'm going to send you out. But here we also have the roles quickly broken down. System owner, on new installations, the first user is the system owner. Can elevate users to system admin, can elevate users to system owner on dedicated servers only. So this means on self-hosted or on-premise. Yeah, so not on 3CX hosted. Requires a unique email address. So my rule in that regard generally is when you create a new system, the first user you create is your support account. That can be one that is used by the whole support team as a login. For example, when you, for example, use support at your company or tech at your company as the email address, and you then literally log in, everyone has the username and the credentials to log in, or you have yourself as the system owner with your name and your email address. The problem there is then always when, for example, you change company, or your chief tech changes company, it's everything bound to him, email address and all that stuff. I therefore advise use a generic email address, tech support and all that stuff. I have plenty of cases where people didn't know the password anymore. They didn't use a generic email address. It went to a person's email address at the company, and they literally had to reopen or recreate the um, that email address, or they had to literally use a general forward to a tech email for everything that came into that domain or what else ever, that they actually were able to reset the password or got the password resent. So it's always the best if you are the supporter, you use a generic email in that regard that actually will help you to have multiple people access the system, especially also if you're on holiday or if you are off sick and what else ever. Yeah. Then department rights control, management rights. You can manage phone book, the company phone book, IVR control, access group recordings requires a pro or enterprise license, presence rights, extension visibility and extension calls. Further rights, we have action rights requires visibility of users and calls. Parking, intercom, call manipulation, for example, divert, transfer, pickup calls, receptionist operations, status, wake up calls, check in, check out, barge in, listen, whisper. So, for example, if a user is not handing out his visibility, for example, I had that the other day. There was one person who said, "Oh, I can't listen, whisper, or barge into that other person's extension." Um, and the other person was also an admin and did not want to show his status. So therefore, it was not possible to barge in, listen, or whisper. They had to live with that, or the other person would have had to say, okay, people can see um, my status. And were in two different departments from that perspective. Department view, you can see people on a per user basis, and you can give rights to see users and perform operations in other departments. Department publishing makes all extensions visible to everyone, no calls visible, no control actions. You see there at the bottom, publish department information to all extensions. It's literally, a department is nothing else than what was called group before in version 15, 16, and 18. Yeah. It's just that the meanwhile that group or that department has more possibilities, more rights. And I recall back in the that was already 2019, 2018 maybe already, when I started to advise people to set up their systems using departments, because yeah, it's like an Active Directory. You can really compare it to an Active Directory, and you can set it up as well, similar in the way of an Active Directory, because it's people who work in the Active Directory in a department together, most likely also use PBX in the same form, yeah, also in the department. So it's really it's nothing else. It's just, back in the day it was called groups, now it's called departments. Not really much changed, of course. Yeah, you have much more possibilities, but from the idea, it's more or less it's still the same. Okay, now let's go into that video and then make that a little bit bigger. Now we go into departments. We see here we have just one department inside. You give it a department name. You give the department a global system prompt set icon that we have in 10 years, the same discussion where we have 20 different Australian prompt sets based on the location where you are, because the English in Australia is getting more and more and more scattered and diverse. So we will see what comes out. Australia is actually really interesting when you look at a country where you had an original dialect language that came in with the settlements of the um, uh, convicts a couple of 100 years ago, and then now, based on the size of the country, you start to create those dialects, and it's pretty interesting actually. For me, as a non-native Australian, it's already hard to get the understanding on some certain um, people when they call in. And I already heard that people who come from the cities have already issues when they are talking to someone who is living in a more outback area or so. So from that perspective, it's a very interesting development that goes on here. And I can imagine that there will be different Australian prompt sets in a couple of years. Okay, we give it a name. Again, I did their tech. Then you use the prompt set you want, the department language, and then again you choose if you want to publish all the information to across the system. Then it's very interesting here is we can add members to that department. And the members, what you see here, are not only extensions. And do not ask me yet what you can do with the other, like shared parking there or what else ever. I have not tested anything in that regard, but I'm definitely going to play around with that kind of stuff. But for now, I can't tell you what these shared parking and all that stuff, what they add to it, if it actually works, what you can do with it. Don't ask me. Yeah, just that in case you thought of, oh, I want to ask. I have no idea at the moment. I have not played around with it. Where do I go there? What am I searching for? We see one is the system owner, the other one is the user. Now I can go into the extension 1001 and we see as the user, I do not have all the rights. Then I go into department administrator. I also don't have all the rights and have to save. And then I go back in and I see now you have all the operations. Yeah, so you have to save the extension first to apply the changes, to have people have the rights in a group. Now, call handling, bear with me. I just move a little bit back. Call handling, you see there also we can add ring groups, we can add queues, we can add digital receptionists. Call handling will be part of tomorrow's training. With the extension, you see that we still have the GRP number, so GRP 444, so it's 4 times 0 and then 0001. You still see that it is labeled as groups there, although in the interface it is labeled as department. So we can assign DID numbers now there to the department, and we can define the destinations. Yeah, we can define when the office is open, route 2, when on break, route 2, when office is closed, route 2, and when on holiday, route 2. And then on top of that, we can also say on holiday, for example, or on office is closed, to play an announcement. It is very important that you understand, I go back again, that you understand a department is not a ring group or a queue. It is a grouping of extensions to give office hours and rights to people, what they can do inside that group. It is not a destination where when you say you add people into a department, you give it a DIT that the call then will ring these people that are inside that department. We still have to route the call that comes to that number here to a destination. You see there we have destinations where we have to route them to. Yeah. User, voicemail box, ring group, digital receptionist, queue, call processing script, forward to outside number. Yeah. Since we have not had queues created on the setup yet, I just add a cue just to show you then literally that it can ring on both together. Now, what you see here as well on the top right of those drop-down fields, you also can assign a DIT directly to the queue. Yeah. But this means that this queue then is not undergoing a department. That queue is directly going via, or the number goes directly into the queue, and there is no department assigned to it. From that perspective, it is a traditional queue like we had it before. Okay, so we go ahead, and of course you saw you can also add there. We see that again in a second. We have here the notifications like before. We have the prompt sets. We have the music on hold, the intro prompt. Also, music on hold, that is still something which is once the call leaves the queue, the music on hold, the default system music on hold is played. Still, there is nothing as of now that that you can define that there is throughout a call always that specific music on hold played. I know there's a demand on that, people ask for that, but it's not available. Okay, but the rest is literally still the same, it's just a little bit a different interface. We have here also allow callback, wrap up time is there, the maximum amount of callers in the queue, SLA time, and that's literally it's all in there. What we had before with the version 18, version 16, version whatever, we have the polling strategy. Again, we have also skill-based routing there in case you have a enterprise. We can assign DIT numbers, as I said, and we see underneath we have destinations. We have destinations if no answer, when office is closed, when on break, or when on holiday. Yeah, so that is also available inside the queue, something that we didn't have before. Yeah. So I go back now into my tech department. I say assign that DIT there and play or send it to the example queue. Here I send it to the voicemail box of the example queue. When on holiday, I can say go there, go also there, play an announcement or what else ever, whatever you want to set up. And then you can upload or record whatever kind of announcement you want to have. Okay, now let me quickly go to the questions. If you end the call and play an announcement, it cannot be recorded via a handset. What do you mean by that? So you mean the recording via the handset, the prompt recording via the handset is not possible? I'm pretty sure that that might come again. Again, we have to see there is not everything yet implemented that is actually on the version 18. Yeah, we are still working we still, or we, 3.6 is still working to put everything back. Again, um, no, you don't have to look if you can use a stream, but it's not like on other PBXs where you can open a stream on the system. But you have a playlist that you can have the music played. Yeah. Again, 3.6, you still can use version 18 until the end of the year. Nobody said you have to move. Yeah, except you have a free or an SMB. Yeah, nobody said you must move. Comes down to the one that I said yesterday at the very beginning. You do not move to an update when it's not ready for you. In version 20, there is a digital receptionist, yes. Yeah, the NFR, they force you on that, yes. That's true. But the NFR is not what you put down to the installer. It's in the end, it's your own install, yeah, but it's not your customer. Okay, let's quickly have a look here. If that call to that number comes in, actually made a call then there. You see top right, the call comes into the example queue. And that's literally it. Now, office hours define department office hours, in office hours, break times, out of office hours. It can alter behavior of departments, system extensions like queues, ring groups, digital receptionists, and users. It's routed at the destination on departments, users, system extensions, times defined by department hours and holidays. User office hours override department office hours. That is the same like we had before already. It's always going more down to the fine graining. So we have a user, if he has specified office hours, then they will kick in over the office hours defined by the department, which will override the office hours defined on the system globally. Okay. Then department holidays are specific hours of a single day, can be a full day or a range of days. And I make the loud word there on days. Whoever stays tomorrow until the end and watches my slideshow on how to understand 3.6 questions, then you will remember this one here, yeah, or a range of days on an annual basis defines when the department is in holiday mode. Yeah. User profile switching. User profile will automatically change in office hours to available profile. break times to the away profile, outside office hours to the do not disturb profile. That's all what I already mentioned very, very early when we looked at those 5 colored squares. Um, Again, it has to be enabled. Automatic profile switching has to be enabled. User behaves based on active profiles forwarding rules. Yeah. So if you set something in the available profile that actually should be triggered in the away profile, and the customer is in the away profile, that will not be triggered because it is configured in the wrong profile. Yeah. User will not automatically change if profiles custom 1 or custom 2 are in use, or if there is no auto switch enabled. Then he also will not switch automatically because we tell the phone system that this user should not automatically switch the profile. Yeah. Then the correct office hours. Correct time ranges, opening and closing times and break times cannot be identical. Um, there sometimes needs to be a absolutely crooked setup. I had once one where I had to set the night as break time because he wanted to have something absolutely weird, and I had to use the what was that? I had to I had to give him the break times at a very, very strange time to actually make achieve what he wanted to have. It was really weird. But yeah. Um Between closing and opening times, department is out of office hours, not on break. Correct is midnight to 9 a.m., for example, is closed. Then office hours start at 9 until 12. Then we have break time from 12 to 1 p.m. 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. is again in office hours and then is closed again. Or we have, for example, from midnight to 8 a.m. is closed. Then we have 8 to 11 a.m. is office hours. Then we have 1 hour of break hours. Then we have 3 hours of office hours. Then the business is closed. And then we literally have 5 to 8 p.m. is open. Then we have 1 hour break. And then we have again until 11 p.m. is open and then it's closed to midnight. Now, if I would want to have in the middle there what is closed between 3 and 5 p.m., if I would want to have a break in there, then I would have to set the open hour from noon to 8 p.m. and define a break in the middle. But if I want to have it closed, I have to set the office hours until 3 and then from 5 onwards. Yeah. Everyone understand that? Let's demo. This demo we quickly will do with a live view. Bear with me. We will jump. Do, 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 do. That is good. I will get logged out in a minute. Let me quickly have a look. 100% sure that this password is correct. Bear with me. That's why I don't like those live. Okay, there you go. So that's actually my phone that is automatically go on to do not disturb based on the YMCS rule that we created inside there. See, the phone is up and it's getting automatically on do not disturb. Everyone who watched the YMCS training the other day knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, so office hours, you see here, we have the two departments, office holidays at into the department. Yeah. Of course, it would be cool to actually say that that you can have an Outlook calendar per department that feeds into here. Yeah, would be really cool. Maybe that comes one day, maybe not. So we go here literally, set our time zone. Let's say the tech is, it's a good question now. Tech, is that Australia wide? Is that only Sydney, Melbourne? Where is tech sitting? Yeah. From that perspective, yeah, you can discuss again now if it what is the correct time zone. We would say office hours are Monday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, these are our office hours. And where's the duplicate button? Don't like it. I wonder when that will come. Okay. And so on, yeah? So these are our office hours. Now, break hours have to be inside that range. Now I say break hours are 12 p.m. to 12:30. That is valid. Um, that here, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is valid. 11 to 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. is valid, and 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. is valid as well. So you see the overall office hours are 8 to 5, and then here we have 2 times break times in between, and here we have 1 times. Now, what is not valid is, for example, this one here, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then I add here 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. This will not be recognized. The system will say that is not within office hours, because office hours go to 12. Oops, sorry, that one was wrong. Yeah. We'll say office hours go to 12 and then commence again at 1 p.m. So that one is literally outside of office hours, therefore it is not break time. Yeah. So this will not trigger it. Even you can add it, but it will not trigger it. Yeah. Then holidays, again, we are in the department. We can say, for example, Xmas is a range of days. That happens, and again, I put their days very loud, from the 24th to the 26th. Now, you see the risk with that annually, because with our calendars, where times and days are always, times not really, but days, weekdays are always shifting around, I cannot say that we have, I mean, that is given, yes, that's a fact, but usually the companies, they clock off here and they probably come back in then the week later, yeah? It also says to you, it cannot be set for this. You can save that. Now you see that from 23rd of December to January, and it can only be done once, because yeah, you usually have a full or 2 full weeks that you do off. Most companies still don't just give the 2 holidays. Yeah, then we can say a single day. Let's say temp single day. We do that tomorrow, 12 a.m. to, let's say 12 a.m. is wrong, 12 p.m. to, let's say 5:30 p.m. Done. What you can't do anymore here, and that you might have seen, you can't add holiday prompt anymore. Because the holiday prompt, you literally go inside here. Where are we? Call handling. Here, here, here. You put the prompt for the holiday. Okay. I doubt that the date can be shown in Australia format because it's literally just what you said up there. Nobody sees it anyway, anywhere. Then users here, voicemail. So what is that button here doing? That's a phone, no? It's a phone. I mean, I have to test that, but I'm pretty sure that this is a phone, no? Or at least the will is there. Yeah. You will have to play around here, change the announcement. Yeah. And of course, over years, you will collect the Anzac Day, you will collect the Christmas, Easter, Cup Day, Grand Final Day. You will collect that there. And as long as the prompt does not define a exact date, so like we are closed from December 23rd until January, blah blah blah, you can leave the same prompt up there. But again, yes, if it's for example the Christmas prompt, you will have to change that every year. I'm pretty sure there will come changes in that regard as well again inside because yeah, this there will come fixes and all that stuff, definitely. I'm pretty sure in that regard. Um, when we look here into the options, you see that's just those basic options. Um, the Again, that I would prefer to have the prompt in here, and I'm pretty sure every one of you would prefer that as well. But look, it might come. It might come in an update. I have hope that it's just simpler to maintain, and you also, to be honest, you also then can build it up much nicer and prepare it at the beginning of the year already, and you are set done. But again, it is not me who does that. Yeah, we have to see what comes then with the next updates. There's still a lot of changes coming in and going around. Um, they removed stuff because they had to build the system completely from scratch. Um, to get rid of that old web interface, which was outdated, with the engine that was running in the back end. Uh, so they have now a new engine that is running, also giving more opportunities for implementation of features in the future. Yeah, and it's not there yet. Where and that is also always has been announced that the um, yeah. There's plenty of information here on the website where you also can see what will come with the update 1, what will come with the update 2, just to see what changes all will come and all that stuff. They're working constantly on it. It's just that you can't do such a massive project in a certain way. Apparently, it's I don't do software, so from that perspective, don't ask me. It's just we can't change that. Again, it's you can discuss that out with them directly. You don't have to discuss that with me. It's yeah. But I advise you to be kind and polite when you discuss that with them. Uh, they have been they have been quite drastic recently with canceling partners and all that stuff. So from that perspective, no, it's going public in afterwards. I mean, the video will be public. It's not about going against who is watching or what else ever. Uh, they generally always have been transparent with what will change. They have been transparent with what can be done, be do already, and all that stuff. So yeah, again, I'm pretty sure in a year the system will look completely different and okay. Anyone has any questions in regard of that? Not just complaining, but actually really questions that are in regards of the functionality or of the training. Okay, this doesn't seem to be the case. In this case, I thank you for attending and hope you had a pleasant journey through those last 135 minutes.